taking a peek at the infotainment system inside of the Nissan Ariya. It's a 12.3-inch screen and it is packed with features, so I'm going to show you everything you need to know. First thing, you've got some buttons along the outside. The one along the very top, if you push that, that's going to change you between either a day or a nighttime mode. You can also do a push and hold on it instead in order to turn the display off, and then do a button push in order to be able to turn the display back on again. Takes a few seconds there, and screen is now resumed. There's a camera button there as well, and the camera button brings you into your full 360 camera mode. From there, you can hit that in order to be able to turn on your parking sensors, and then there's type of parking as well. So some versions of the Ariya do have park assist, so it can help out with either parallel or perpendicular parking. But if you want to walk through on how to actually use the park assist system, check down in the description of the video. I put together a comprehensive walkthrough showing how that one's done specifically. You can go back to the home screen here. Along the very top side, you've got a little notification tray. So if there were notifications available, you've got a home button, factory navigation button, media, phone, and then climate control settings. So there are some climate control settings along the very bottom of the screen there, and that's going to be for dual zone climate control, things like that. And then you've got a series of advanced options along the screen here. So toggling on the heated steering wheel, you can adjust the driver passenger side climate, have it for driver only for the actual temperature itself. You can sync up the passenger to whatever the driver's side is, toggle on your heated and ventilated first row seats if you had them available. So all of these features, well, some of them are going to be dependent on the trim level that you're in. Do you want the air circulation going to windshield, face, feet, some sort of combination of the above, windshield, etc. You can hit there in order to adjust your rear climate as well. So turn on those rear heated seats if you wanted to. So it's strictly for the driver and passenger side. So that middle seat in the rear is never going to be heated. And then from there, you've got a few other basic options. Hopping into climate control brings you back to whatever screen you were on last, back to the home screen. There's this little settings icon along the very top, so pushing that one is going to give you a few other options, well, a boatload of other options, but we'll dive into settings last. You've got the current time along the top right-hand side as well, what temperature you're currently looking at, heated seats, heated steering wheel, so it's essentially just a little quick launch tray for you to toggle on different settings on top of that. So let's dive through, show you everything that you need to know. So there are, like I said, a lot of features, especially when you look at the Ariya because it's feature packed. Starting off on the media side of things, so you've got different sources available. So there's AM, FM, SiriusXM, Bluetooth. If you had a USB stick with MP3s, that would be available as an option. There's Android Auto, Apple CarPlay media as well, and then different apps that are available. So jumping into any of these sources like AM, FM, you can see along the top, you've got other sources available that you can swipe in between. FM list gives you all of the available stations based off of your geographic area. If you've gone to a different spot, just hit refresh, and that's going to refresh the list based off of where you currently are. So you could select whatever station you want to that way. Do you want to show radio text? Yay, nay. If we were to go back, you've got the station that we've currently tuned to. Now that station is currently saved, but if it wasn't, in order to be able to save a preset, all you're going to do, like there are a lot of different options here. You're just going to push and hold. You heard that little beep, and that's going to overwrite any of these presets that are available, so that are there. You can seek this way if you want to, so it's essentially one seek at a time. You can go this way as well if you wanted to. You can scan if you wanted to, scan through all of the available stations. Then if you were to go to AM, it's the exact same thing. SiriusXM gives you a few other options available too. So you've got the current channel that we're on, guest user, so obviously if you were logged into your account, you could see there. You could see related based off of what you're listening to as well. Then you can browse a few different ways. So you can see your For You, music, sports, news, so it's essentially looking at your category view instead, and then back. Clicking on related there is going to give you related content that's available based off of what you're listening to. And then there's this little bell icon. So you could get a notification for the artist and for the song. One of the big benefits there, if Linkin Park Numb comes on any station, you're going to get a notification letting you know that either Linkin Park has started playing or that that specific song is playing. Then you can hit notification there in order to be able to deselect or manage all of the ones that you've currently selected. So all the artists, all the songs that you like. Straightforward. You can tune this way if you want to, so if you know the station, and that's the same way regardless of the source. So you can manually tune this way, so if you want to listen to a certain station, you've got the flexibility to be able to do it. Really straightforward. And then, like I said, a boatload of different options available for your presets. So 36 individual presets that can be a mix of AM, FM, SiriusXM as well. Pushing the little icon there gets you to a few other options where you can manage your presets. So you've got all of the presets that are currently saved. If you wanted to, you could select all. If you wanted to delete them, unselect, or if you wanted to, let's say if you wanted to delete a few different stations or presets, you've got the flexibility to do it. Pushing and holding, unfortunately, does nothing, so you can't rearrange them this way. But back, all settings brings you into all of the available settings inside of the vehicle. But that's the basics of using the radio inside of the Ariya. From there, let's hop into adding in a phone. So as of right now, no devices are connected. So let's start off on the iPhone side of things. On your phone, you're looking for My Ariya. Perfect, there we are. PIN numbers match up, so we're going to pair. Do I want to allow contacts and favorites to sync? This is not my car, so I'm going to say no to that one. Obviously, if it was yours, you could say yes there, and we are fully connected. So you've got the phone you could hop into there. You can see if your connection, your contacts and things like that, if you said yes, those would all download. I said no again because this is not my car, but your dial pad is there, phone name as well. And then on the phone, do you want to use CarPlay with your Ariya? Yes, you do. So you are looking at wireless CarPlay inside the vehicle. Yes, we want to do that. Now, it is wireless CarPlay, but it is also backwards compatible. So if you had a USB cable as well, you'd be able to utilize USB instead, and that's USB type A or type C. And you just have to plug that in down the center console. But look at this, fully connected. So these buttons along the outside are always going to be fixed in place, but this is the Apple CarPlay side of things. So you've got your current time, connection, and battery levels, which map was open last, which audio application was open last, which miscellaneous application was open last. Then you can go to an icon view, back to your home screen there instead, back to icon view, but then you can also swipe across if you want to. So you've got a few things. If you had a calendar note up on the very bottom there, you can see, so upcoming calendar notifications letting us know something's going on at 4 o'clock. You've got Apple Maps, Google Maps, and Waze. Apple Maps is good. Straightforward to use. There's no pinch to zoom capabilities, unfortunately. And that's the same way with Google Maps. So no pinch to zoom. You'd have to go in and out this way if you wanted to, but you can move around freely using your finger. You can easily search for addresses if you want to. Hitting the gear icon lets you avoid certain things on the route. So avoiding highways, toll roads, and ferries. You can change map colors, look at traffic, what heading do you want to use as well. So it gives you a lot of flexibility. But as much as I like Google Maps, I like Waze the best when I'm driving. And there are a few key reasons why. So you could easily search for addresses that way if you want to. You can mark things off on the map too. So if you see that there's a cop that's pulling people over, you can give people a heads up. If you see that there's a crash, if there are hazards, so cars on the shoulder, things like that, you'd have the flexibility of letting people know. And you can see everything as you go. So there's been an accident reported there. As you drive along your route, you can see what's going on. So like I said, I do prefer Waze specifically because you can see what's going on around you. Hoopla is a library app. Live One's a radio app. You can use podcasts through this screen as well. Now, one downside is that you can listen to your podcasts and things like that here if you want to. You can listen to YouTube music if you want to, but the screen, unfortunately, does not support video playback. And there's no way around that one, unfortunately. But the screen is fully loaded. One nice thing is that when you're connected through the screen here, you could then also, or I should say Apple devices, you can push and hold the voice command prompt in order to activate your Siri Assistant there if you want to. And then if you go back to the home screen, it's going to take a second. You can launch back into the phone there if you want to, and back. You can also launch into CarPlay this way. So there's a little CarPlay button there. You can push that to launch back into CarPlay instead. And then on your phone, if you are in your settings, you go to General and then CarPlay, look for your car. You can forget it, you can customize, and then you can turn CarPlay off while the phone is locked. That's one thing you want to look at. So if your CarPlay connection's not working, make sure that's enabled. But if you're still running into issues, I put together a walkthrough video explaining how to fix CarPlay issues in any vehicle. You'll find that down in the description. But if you look at customize, let's say if you're a big fan of listening to podcasts, and if you wanted to have Waze up along the very top, you've got the flexibility to adjust the screen. Any one with a minus next to it, you can also remove it. So if you're not a fan of a few of these apps, you can delete them, but it keeps them in at the bottom of the phone. So you could add them back in if you want to. If you played around with the layout too much, you don't like what you've done, on the phone, there's a reset button, reset, and that's just going to bring you back to the factory default layout there instead. And then if you go back home, you've got the phone that you're currently connected to. But if you hit the settings icon, you've got that phone that we can't do anything with. So we have to go to connections for a second because we're connected right now for the CarPlay. But if you wanted to disconnect from CarPlay, you could then hit, boom, we're stopping Apple CarPlay, connecting back over Bluetooth instead, strictly for the phone. So you can be, yeah, that's okay. Don't ask anymore. No. All right, so as of right now, connected not over CarPlay, but over Bluetooth for phone. So you could be connected over CarPlay or over Bluetooth for audio and then for phone calls as well. So it's either Apple CarPlay or one of the others, but you can access all of these options through CarPlay as well. In CarPlay, you can see your phone is also connected there. And then to reconnect, you're just going to hit the little CarPlay icon. But that's how you set up Apple devices inside of the Ariya. Setting up Android devices is the exact same process. So if you weren't on the screen, let's say you're back on the home screen, if a phone wasn't connected, you could log in. But what we want to do is go into our connections for a second, and you can see we're on the screen. I'm just going to add in a device. Okay, there we go. And what we want to do on the phone, we're looking for my Ariya again. Just take a second. There we go. Pin numbers match up, so we're going to hit OK there. And do you want it to be the favorite device? So if you've got multiple phones connected, it's who's going to get connection priority. I want to say yes to this one for now. And it's asking me, do I want to allow contacts, access to my contacts, my messages, things like that? Again, this is not my car, so I'm going to say no. Don't ask any more on that one, and okay. And we are now fully connected over Bluetooth. So in order to set up Android Auto, you are looking at a USB connection in order to do it. And using a USB cable, you want to make sure that it's a USB cable with the data transfer icon there. Because if it's not data transfer, it's not going to transfer the data. It'll just work for charging. So if you're running into issues with Android Auto not connecting, chances are good you're using the wrong type of cable. And yeah, this is saying no just because I said no to that one there. So I'm going to connect through down the center stack there. And opposite end, just going to plug ourselves in. And bam, and watch this. A few seconds in, do you want to use Android Auto? Yes, we want to do that, so let's start. And on the phone, Android Auto would like to, so you have to hit next there. Okay, it should take a second. Would you look at that? There we go. Phone is now fully connected through Android Auto. So it is wireless Apple CarPlay, wired Android Auto, regardless of the version of the vehicle that you're in. So very similar to the iPhone side of things, you've got a series of buttons along the very bottom, your current time in connection, battery levels, a few basic apps along the very bottom. You can press the icon there if you wanted to set up your Google Assistant. You can also do a long press and hold on the steering wheel to activate your assistant that way instead. You've got a little split screen here, but if you hit the little Google Maps icon there, that's going to bring you up to a full screen map. And that's full pinch to zoom capabilities. That's one thing I love about Android Auto inside of, or Google Maps, I should say, inside of Android Auto, is that it is full pinch to zoom capabilities. You can hit the little icon here if you wanted to do things like avoid certain things on the route. So if you wanted to avoid motorways, toll roads, ferries, things like that, you could. You could change your perspective this way, zoom in and out this way instead if you want, and then also easily search for addresses. Pressing the little icon button here gives you a few other options. Now this phone does have Waze installed, and you can see that Waze is actively showing. But if for whatever reason you've got Waze installed on your phone, on your Android, and it's not showing up here, check down in the description of the video for a little walkthrough on how to connect those instead. But you've got quite a few different options available here too. So you've got your basic maps. There's also podcasts that are available, Spotify and things like that. There are quite a few different apps that are available on the Android side of things. And then very similar to Apple, you've also got the flexibility of being able to customize the screen. So if you search for Android Auto, look at Android Auto settings, And then scroll, you've got a boatload of options. But what we're looking for is Customize Launcher. So we're going to hit Customize Launcher there, and you can see all of the different apps that are currently on the phone that are compatible. So you can add different apps in if you want to. You could do a move around this way instead if you want. So you can drag any of these things around if you'd like to, but it's not dynamic the same way it was on the iPhone side of things. So what you have to do, go back home. Actually, I guess the easiest way to do it, just unplug the phone. So unplug the phone, watch this. Plug yourself back in, and it should take a second there. Android Auto, let's relaunch into Android Auto there. And look. So all of the changes that we made customizing the launcher have taken into effect. So it's not dynamic the same way it was on the iPhone side, but it's at least got the flexibility of being able to customize, which is great. Push the home icon to get back home. You can launch back into Android Auto that way, launch back into your phone if you'd like to. And then if you go to your settings along the top of the screen, connections, you've got both phones that we've connected. So one cool thing is that you can kind of do a mix and match here. So it can either be Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, but you can do a mix and match of these four. So if you have one phone connected for phone calls, one phone connected for media, you can have it set up that way. Really useful. You can hit the little info icon there to enable disable Bluetooth for hands-free calling, for Bluetooth audio, Android Auto, etc. And then the other phone here, so if you had multiple phones connected, you could then reactivate these things as well. So you can activate for hands-free calling, etc., or you can fully delete. So I've deleted the iPhone, and let's go through and also delete the Android, and delete, and yes. And 3, 2, 1, and you are fully disconnected here. So that's how you set up Apple CarPlay and Android Auto inside of the Nissan Ariya. And heading back home. So that's the phone. Next up is going to be using factory navigation, which is straightforward. So you've got pinch to zoom capabilities here. You can move around with your finger. It's pretty responsive. Not bad. I'd like to see a graphic upgrade though, but you can easily pinch to zoom this way. You can hit this little icon if you wanted to see where you're at. You can also look at a few things here. So whether or not you want that showing, your home address. So if you have a home address set up, one of the big benefits there is that you can hit the home icon for the vehicle to navigate home. You'd also be able to push the voice command prompt. You could push the voice command prompt on the steering wheel to navigate home, whatever the case may be. From there, you could zoom in and out on the map this way if you want. You can go back in order to search. So you can search by GPS coordinates, so latitude first, longitude second. You can search by point of interest icons. So let's go, nice and Canadian of me, search for a Tim Hortons. Boatload of different options. Actually, let's go. So let's just do a general search for Tim Hortons there. It's going to give us a boatload of options. Let's take one that's a little bit further away. You can see there, and it's built with Google, so it's technically using the Google Maps platform to do it.
Follow the road for 150 meters.
Nice and useful. And one cool thing is that when you've got that enabled, it's also going to show you your turn-by-turn directions right inside of the head-up display, if you've got a head-up display, but really, really useful. And then through that home screen there, you can also see your turn-by-turn directions right inside of the cluster screen as well. So you've got it at least in the head-up display and in the cluster, which is pretty cool. From there, zoom in and out as well if you want to that way. You could push this button in order to enter a new destination. You can cancel the route, look at some route preferences as well. So if you wanted the shortest distance, fastest route, the most energy efficient, you can minimize toll roads. So if you don't want to use toll roads, you've got that flexibility. Do you want to use HOV lanes, yay or nay? Use ferries, learned routes, and things like that. Nothing too exciting. You can recalculate, show your destination, edit your route, and then you can detour. There are guidance settings and things like that. So let's see, guidance settings. Do you want to get voice guidance? So as you're coming up to a turn, do you want to get notifications, yay or nay? Do you want to adjust your volume?
Sample.
So if you don't want the navigation volume there to be too loud, you can disable toll booth. So if you're coming up to an upcoming toll booth, it's going to let you know if there's traffic that it recognizes as well. And back, actually, there was one I wanted to show you here. If we go new destination, you can search previous destinations, others. So let's go destination, and let's look for EV, and we're going to look for a charging station. So it's got a few different stations that are available. So let's just randomly select one here, and let's add it to the route. So we're essentially adding in waypoints. So we've got our end destination that we've already gone to, and now we've got a place that we're going to stop as well. So it's really, really straightforward.
Follow the road for 300 meters.
Straightforward using it. Then you can exit to either cancel all of the destinations, so the full route that we've set up, or one destination. Which one do we want to cancel? So if we don't want to stop at the charging station anymore, you can hit yes, and then we're strictly going to the Tim Hortons now instead, and it's adjusted the route, or you hit X.
Follow the road for 150 meters.
And we've now canceled the destination. You can hit search again if you wanted to research, or hit there in order to look at previous destinations. So if you wanted to go to a destination that you've gone to previously, you've got the flexibility to do it. So I know there's quite a bit there, but it's actually really straightforward utilizing factory navigation inside the vehicle. Swiping across, you've also got your EV. Obviously, because this is an electric, you've got this option for charging. So it shows you all of the charge stations that are local to you. You can filter it as well. So if you wanted to only have quick charging stations, if you only wanted to show free charging stations, you could do that. How do you want to pay? Are they open 24 hours? Whatever the case may be. So it's going to update and let us know what stations are around us that are free. It's kind of cool. So different options there. You can hit the options icon to select cities, sort by distance, and things like that. And back, let's go. So connections, we've already been there, but that's where you can see Apple CarPlay, Android Auto connections, things like that. All apps are available too. Let's see what one's here. So Nissan Connect services, things like that. There's mobile apps, downloaded apps, nothing exciting. SiriusXM travel link. So if you've got an active SiriusXM subscription, TomTom, and then EV. So you can see a boatload of things. So you've got energy usage, so how much have you used, and where can you go based off of your current range. Moving back, same thing, your total driving range. So how far could you go based off of your current driving range. Charging stations that are available, so same idea. You can select that a few different ways. Charge timer's a neat one. So if you were plugged in at home, you'd be able to then select a few different things. So you'd be able to have timers working at home, whether you're at work, whatever the case may be, and you can set yourself up to go on certain times. So big benefit there is, when do you want to charge up? Do you only want to charge up? Here we go. So let's actually edit this so I can show you. If you only want to charge up at certain times of the day, when do you want to charge? So let's say if you wanted to go from 8 p.m. when you're going to get cheaper charge rates, and then you wanted to stop at maybe 7 o'clock a.m. when the cheap charge rates are over. You've got that flexibility. And what days do you want to do it? Do you only want to charge Monday to Friday at that time? You've got that flexibility. And I'm obviously not going to save that one, but you've got the flexibility to have up to 3 individual options. So if you wanted to charge Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday at a certain time, you could. For Saturday, Sundays, whatever the case may be. So you're only going to be charging the vehicle up during those times. And then you can take it a step further with a climate timer too. So what climate do you want the vehicle to be set at, and when do you want it set? It's the same idea. Let's say if you have a tendency to leave for work Monday to Friday at 7 o'clock in the morning, you can go back, you can set your days. So Monday to Friday, you're going to have the vehicle come on at that temperature. So it's essentially preconditioning the cabin instead. So rather than hopping inside the vehicle and freezing your butt off, you'd be able to have it set up, whether it's hot, cold, whatever the case may be. And again, 3 different options. So if you're going to leave home at the same time every day, Monday to Friday, and then you're going to leave work same time, Monday to Friday, you can set that up as well. Very, very useful. Where are you? So if you end up getting lost, you've got your actual GPS coordinates there. So if, let's even say your battery died and you need to call a Nissan roadside assistance in order to get some help, you've got that flexibility, and all you have to do is just give them your GPS coordinates to let you know where you're at. Swiping across, same idea. You've got your GPS coordinates here as well. So you can see your GPS coordinates is done a different way. System information, nothing exciting there. SiriusXM information, license, things like that. That's the basics for your apps. There's Alexa built in as well, and you would have to be signed in order to be able to utilize it. You can see what's going on with your current weather, or search for cities, whatever the case may be. Nissan Connect services are available as well if you're running into problems. You can see your total driving range. So again, we're in an EV, so you can see how far you can get based off of your current range. Then current energy usage, which we've already seen that one. Swiping across, you can also change users. One of the big benefits here is that if you've got multiple people driving the vehicle, you can set up a new user. You can lock it to a specific key, you can edit the name, the icon, and things like that. And a big benefit there is, like I said, if you've got multiple people driving, it's going to remember all of your settings. So it'll remember your presets, the phone that you've connected, all of your seat settings and things like that, locked into your own unique profile. So if multiple people are driving, definitely go through there in order to set up unique profiles. You can sync it with your key, whether or not you want the welcome message, things like that. You can hit the little plus icon there to customize the screen a little bit. So you can add in a little widget. And there are a boatload of different widgets that are available here for you to be able to customize. So if you wanted to kind of adjust the screen out, customize it, make it a little bit more of your own, you've got the flexibility to do it. The only other one to point out from here, well, it's a big one, going to be all of the available settings. So on the setting side of things, connections, which we've already seen. If a phone was connected, you could pull up your phone information there. Navigation gives you a boatload of other options for your navigation. Do you want to have your heading up 3D versus north up? So you've got different options there. 3D actually does look pretty nice. Point of interest icons, what do you want showing? Do you want to have fast food stations showing, gas stations, nightlife, parking? So many different options. You've got traffic information, whether or not what that one's showing up. You'd need SiriusXM traffic link to view that live info. You could do a split screen. Split screen, I'm not too crazy about, but you could show whether or not you got left versus right side and what's showing up there. It doesn't look the prettiest when you don't have a route going here. Watch this. Yeah, it does not look good when you don't have a route set up by any stretch. But when you've got an active route going, it's kind of cool because then you'd be able to see kind of like turn by turn directions on one side of the map as well. Like I said, I'm not a big fan of split screen, but you could do it if you really wanted to. You can customize some things. Do you want to have either a black map or actually, you know what? That black map looks kind of cool. Or a white map instead. Nice. You can show different things. Do you want to adjust your text size there? So do you want it large, medium, small, whatever the case may be? Tracking dots. Think of that one like it's breadcrumbs. So you'd be looking like Hansel and Gretel style. So any places that you've gone on the map, you're going to get a little dot next to everywhere that you've been. So very useful if you're going to new places or if you just like kind of keeping track of places that you've been. How big or small do you want those tracking dots to be as well? Split screen info, no. Let's see, anything else exciting here? Traffic dots, no, nothing else exciting there. Those are really the big settings. And then you've got your routing preferences. So do you want the shortest, the fastest, or the most eco-friendly route? Again, minimizing toll roads, which we've already seen most of these ones. Voice guidance, we've already seen these, but do you want to get all of these different guidance prompts? You can edit your user information. So this is where having multiple people set up or user profiles would come into play. You'd be able to add in your home address, your work address, save your address book, saved routes, areas that you want to avoid, and things like that. So if you were to push,
Please say or select a command. Canceling voice recognition.
you hit the voice command prompt, say navigate home, navigate to work, whatever the case may be. Remember under radio? So under radio, we set up that we wanted notifications if Linkin Park or song came on. And that just let us know that that song is played, which is kind of cool. But that's the basics of using navigation there. And you can reset everything back to the default instead. Do you want to show safety information? Safety camera? Nothing exciting there. And actually, let's go back to our settings here. And back to settings, sounds and beeps. Sound settings. Do you want to, ooh, that is terrible. Do you want to adjust your treble, mid-range, bass, etc.? So you want to reset that for sure on this one. So you bass, like crank 3 or 4 points, in my opinion, is pretty good. And treble down a point or two tends to give pretty good audio. Speed sensitive volume. So as you go faster or slower, it's automatically going to raise or lower the volume for you. For this, do you want it focused on the driver, passengers, reset it back to center. You could do a little balance or fade as well too if you wanted to, or reset to bring you back to the middle instead. But yeah, like I said, this tends to give pretty good audio. So the bass crank like 3 or 4 points with the treble down a few points, in my opinion. Voice and beeps, when you have audio, so you can adjust your audio rocker there or adjust it through the screen. What level do you want your guidance volume to be? How loud do you want your ringtone to be? Phone's not connected, but if it was, how loud do you want your outgoing calls to be? Button beeps. Do you want to get that or not? I find that one annoying, but it's a matter of preference. And then do you want to get your guidance voice when you're coming to an upcoming turn? Do you want to get a notification? And system voice. So that's the voice command prompt. Do you want to get the initial prompt? I say no to that one. And do you want to get your short voice? Absolutely. And the reason why, watch this. Tune to 94.9 FM. It just does it. So rather than getting that initial prompt and then it kind of diving in a little bit deeper, it just does whatever you want it to do instead. So it's very, very useful setting it up that way instead. So we go sounds and beeps. System voice, those are the ones that I recommend. So turn initial prompt off, short prompt on. Do you want either a male or female voice? How fast or slow do you want them to speak? You can allow, this. Hello, Nissan. So you can activate your
voice recognition.
You can activate your voice prompt that way instead if you want to. And the basics of sounds and beeps, system updates if they were available. You can update your map, your software, things like that. So the map has to be done either by USB or by Wi-Fi. So you just have to be connected to a Wi-Fi network at home in order to be able to update that one instead. You can adjust your clock. Do you want to show your clock on the screen, yay or nay? Do you want to be in either manual, auto, or time zone? You're going to be honestly in manual the majority of the time, or auto, I should say. Time zone is if you straddle a time zone and you're constantly flipping back and forth between the different time zones. You can lock yourself out to whatever time zone you'd like to. And then from there, you can also have it in a full manual mode instead, where you could set your date and then your form, and then also your date format and then your clock format. So that is a matter of preference. Like I said, the most part though, you're probably just going to be in the auto mode. That would make the most sense. And then do you want to be in that military time instead? So 12 versus 24-hour mode. So you've got options there. Moving back, you can customize the menu a little bit. So customizing the home screen. Let's not show that one. So you can X out any of these ones if you wanted to in order to delete them, and then you can add in different things as well. Auto arrange brings it back to the factory default instead. Same idea. So if we wanted to optimize the audio sources there, you've got the flexibility. So in the audio screen, which quick launches are going to show up for the different sources. So if you have a tendency to listen to your USB 2 audio, Apple CarPlay, whatever the case may be, you've got the flexibility of being able to replace any of these things if you want to. And then back. Do you want to exit without saving? Yes. You can customize the lower bar there, so whether or not that one shows up. Customize the destination menu for specifically looking at your navigation. Honestly, for that one, just leave it as a default. Series of general settings. So for the display, do you want to turn the display on, off? Do you want to adjust the brightness, the contrast, or the black levels? Those contrast and black levels are pretty high. But yeah, look at that. You can kind of see it adjusting there for us as we go. And back. Language, do you want to be in either English, French, or Spanish? Measurement units is a useful one. So you've obviously got your kilometers versus miles. And when you adjust that one, it also adjusts what's going on inside of the cluster screen. So you can see it adjusting there. Actually, it's easier to see it in this view instead. There we go. So as we jump between kilometers, miles, etc., it literally changes everything for us. And then when we jump into either Fahrenheit, Celsius, whatever the case may be, you can select that out instead. Keyboard, you want to be in either ABCD versus QWERTY, nothing exciting. Nissan Connect, same thing, nothing exciting. For your camera, you want to adjust the brightness, contrast levels, and things like that to make it easier to see for you. Parking, so the vehicle, as I mentioned, so it does have the option for park assist. You can adjust whether or not you want to use back-in, so perpendicular or parallel parking. And then, like I said, if you wanted to actually see how the park assist system works, check down in the description for that walkthrough. The seat, driver's seat pop on, yay or nay. So as you go to adjust the seat there, you can see what's actually happening in real time. So it's showing you what's actually going on with the seat as you adjust out. Kind of useful, but you can also turn that off if you really want to. Some additional climate settings, so you can adjust your heated steering wheel sensitivity. Nothing overly exciting there. Edit user. So again, if you've got multiple people driving the vehicle, options for apps with nothing exciting. And then there's also some additional things for EV as well. So do you want to get low battery alerts, out of range? So if you've got a map going, the vehicle is going to tell you if you can actually get to your end destination, yay or nay. Let's see, charging messages. Let's see, do you want to save? Nothing exciting here. Apps filter, what did you want showing up? Battery heaters also there if you wanted to be able to improve fast charging performance. and back. Other than that, yeah, nothing too exciting otherwise. And so that's everything you need to know about the screen. So you can see there, we've got our current temperature along the very bottom. You've also got your 4-way blinkers. There's a volume rocker, a little tricky to see, but you've also got this in order to be able to seek out instead. And then your power button there, all of your basics. So you could adjust your climate this way, because yeah, there are climate control settings baked right into the screen there if you want to. So you can adjust it this way if you want, up and down. So you can do it on the screen or do it down. Do you want to have it going to windshield, etc.? You can adjust the fan speed this way as well. Toggle the system on versus off on top of that. Turn it into an auto mode there too. I know, that is a lot of information, but that's everything you need to know about the infotainment system inside of the Nissan Ariya.